workstations as well, and you don't need that little dongle that you currently have with EchoPack today. The second thing about Viewpoint is that, it does have the capability to support work lists. So again, you could, receive orders from the EMR. They could download to your ultrasound machine and then go to Viewpoint. And then also we have an HL7 interface where you can send the reports out to your EMR either as a PDF, a flat text, or a PDF link as well. So, and then Viewpoint also supports faxing capabilities. So if you want to be able to fax from Viewpoint, you do have that. We do have that capability, or you can stick with still faxing with your EMR or whatever. So, so when you log in, this is what we call the Viewpoint lobby. Not going to go into too many details with all of the doors and stuff like that, but one door here, this is what we call analytics. So this is where Viewpoint could provide some user queries where you could search, do some data mining. So you could search how many studies that you did that had mild aortic stenosis or anything like that. But primarily, everyone will go into the examination door. So once your exams are performed, now I do have a question. Do the sonographers do any preliminary reporting at all?
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
They do final report. Usually final.
So just final. So sonographers don't do any preliminary reporting?
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay. All right. So just I'll take you through kind of the workflow of both sonographer and cardiologist. So when you click on this, you'll have the exam list. So you can search, on the exam list based off of, a specific date just by clicking on the calendar. You can search, based off of sonographer or anything like that as well. Or you can search based off of, if you have a specific reading physician that was, set to read the exam. We can create specific exam lists. We can create a physician's list where it just shows exams that are ready to be read. We can create an exam list just filtered to a specific physician. So if Dr. Conti just wants a list just for him, again, you can look at exams just for his patients as well. But typically the workflow would be and we can also filter based off of locations. So if you have multiple locations, you can look at exams from different locations from any particular office. Typically, when an exam comes over from an ultrasound machine, it'll say scan completed. The sonographer would click on the exam and then open up the exam. So he or she would see the measurements populate over into Viewpoint. And if they want to look at their images, so this is on a single monitor, but however, Viewpoint does support a dual monitor. So on one monitor, you would have the actual report form, and then on the secondary monitor, you would have the images in Viewpoint. So again, the user can rearrange how they want to set up their profile to look at their images. So if they didn't want to look at this many images at once, they could say they wanted to look at 4 images at a time. Okay. However, if they wanted to look at EchoPack, they could set EchoPack to launch automatically within Viewpoint. So EchoPack can be their viewer, or Viewpoint can be the viewer. But I'm just going to show you how EchoPack looks, so that it looks very similar to what you currently have right now. So can everyone see the EchoPack screen?
Yeah.
Yes. So again, this is how you launch EchoPack. That's embedded within Viewpoint. Again, you have all the same functionality where you can perform any measurements, that you currently do today. You can also, stop it just like you do in your current EchoPack. You have all the raw data capabilities where you can do in-mode after the fact, adjust your gains, and so forth. So you have all that capability that you currently have today, but now you'll be able to launch EchoPack as a viewer within Viewpoint.
So can you do those things within Viewpoint, or you have to go into EchoPack to be able to do those kinds of things?
So you have to go in EchoPack to be able to do those things. Viewpoint is just a DICOM viewer. So if you're not going to do any measurements or any raw data manipulation or anything like that, you can just utilize the Viewpoint viewer and you can look at your daily images, this way as well. So You can scroll down and look at your images that way. So just depending on what you want to do. As far as the reporting capabilities, again, the sonographer, if the sonographer is going to be doing any preliminary reports, you can configure what's called a normal report. So you can click on this icon, which is called a quick report icon, and then you can, set up a normal report. And then once you select that, whatever you configure to be normal, it'll automatically populate the comments that you've configured, and then you can just go in and change anything after the fact. So we do have the capabilities to, again, if you want to obviously change if something wasn't normal, you can change it to mildly dilated, or if you want to pull in the actual value from the measurements table, you can say mildly dilated with the actual value as well. So, and again, once the sonographer makes his or her changes, they will change the status to report preliminary. So then, once it's in report preliminary status, the physician can basically filter his or her list, or we can automatically set that where they only see just preliminary exams. Okay, so the physician would then go in and see all the exams that are in report preliminary status. Again, look at their images, agree or disagree to what the sonographer has inputted, and again, they can make any changes. So again, if they want to make a change, didn't think the EF was normal, they can change it to, abnormal or something like that. So with the measurements right now, we do have what the normal ranges. They will populate onto the report. So it's based off of the latest ASC recommendations based on gender. And if it's an abnormal range, it will put a little asterisk by the actual measurement. So either it's above or below the actual value. If the physician wants to add anything to their conclusion, they just right-click on that particular field and say include in summary. And then it kind of outlines the field in blue to let you know that it's been added to the summary. So I'm just going to add a few things here. Again, these drop-down lists, they can be edited. You can configure these drop-down lists. So if you don't like the comments that we currently have in Viewpoint, you can change them to, whatever you wish. By right-clicking, you can edit the drop-down list, and then you can come in here and make changes to the comments or whatever. So you do have the flexibility.
Does that edit, Joe, does that edit for just one person or everybody?
No, so what's nice is that it'll update to all of the workstations because it's going to the server. So when you edit this list, it'll update on all of the workstations.
No, I'm sorry. I mean, is that for one particular user, or will it update for all of the users?
It will update for all of the users.
Template.
Okay, so if you make a change on that drop-down, it's going to update for any physician that could possibly use it.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So once you're done with the report, basically you can preview it. Again, we would set up your report to have your site logo and your address to show how you want it to appear on the report. But again, it would kind of look something like this. So your measurements, and these sections, they can be moved around. So if you wanted the measurement section at the end, you can move that around. You can have the conclusion at the very top if you wish. Again, you can move those sections around however you wish. But once you're done with the report, you can also attach images as well. But once you're done with the report, you will select Final. And then depending on how it's configured, we could have it sent out to your EMR automatically once it's finalized.
Gerald, one thing I've noticed with our current PACS system, Echo PACS, depending on the machine that you use, on the demographic screen when you're typing the diagnosis, in
Yes.
some machines you have to type it in the wrong box for it to show up in the right spot on the template. Does
Okay.
Viewpoint solve that, or is that a function of our current template not being compatible with the various different machines? Because we have some Vivid 7s, we have an E90 and an E95, and with the newer machines, we have to type in the diagnosis or we have to type in the referring physician in the diagnosis box instead of the referring physician box. Does Viewpoint obviate all those issues, or is that a local problem that our template is not correctly set up
So
here?
that could be the way your template is set up. So I know how EchoPack works. If your referring physician is set to come from the diagnosis box, then every machine has to type in that box. If it's set to come from the referral reasons box, then every machine you have to type the referring physician in the referring physician's box. But again, each echo pack, depending on how many you have, that report template, correct, is each template has to be set up that way as well to pull from that same field.
So maybe when you come to do the upgrade to Viewpoint, you could make sure that all the template issues are kind of straightened out, so that, because it's very counterintuitive. Every time we have a new MA or new nurse coming in, the form gets messed up because they don't know those tricks, which there's no way they could know that.
That's part of
So
the
in Viewpoint, you won't have to worry about, because in Viewpoint, if you are going to be receiving orders, it'll automatically show where it says referring physician. So that'll automatically into this field right
Okay,
here.
that's great. That's great.
answering any of that.
All right, that's great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Sure. But again, a lot of the fields in Viewpoint are like, either drop downs, or you can free text in some of the fields. Some of the fields are fixed, where it will automatically change, in a specific field, and in some fields you can free text and choose from the drop down list. One other feature I did want to show you is that we have something that's called copy forward. So if you have an exam, if you have a patient that's had an echo, done 3 months ago, and they come back again for another follow-up echo, well, not much has changed. So if the report or the findings are very similar to what they had in their previous echo, we have a feature that's called copy echo from that previous exam, and then all of the comments that you made on that previous echo, instead of having to redo it again, will automatically populate. So instead of populating all those difficult comments, from that, if that patient had a lot of pathology, all that information would come forward.
That's super helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be. Has to be used carefully.
Right.
Are you guys able to view the priors in Echo Pack, or do you have to look in?
We have to go to a different study.
Okay.
So all of your historical data will be here on the left-hand side, so you see all of these exams. So all of your information, if you have, do you have Image Vault? Is that what you currently have right now?
I'm sorry?
Image Vault, yes.
Image Vault, yes.
So we have a company we work with Data First that we partnered with. So basically they will migrate all of your historical images and reports into Viewpoint. So whenever you open up an exam of a patient that had previous exams, they would all show up here on the left. So all you would do is just click on that previous exam, and then you'll see their previous information in the measurements field, and then you could also see their images as well. So.
But our Image Vault has a finite amount of space that's overwritten. All of our studies are stored in our radiology pack system. So can you do a query and retrieve?
I'm not sure if we can pull it back from the radiology system. Probably wouldn't be able to do that.
You'd be able to migrate over whatever's on the server currently.
Correct. Yes.
That's something we need to review to see if that's possible.
Yes. You can also look at images side by side. So again, you can click on the compare icon in Viewpoint, and then here you will see your current exam that you have selected, and then you can click on the drop down and take a look at the exams, just to compare side by side how you want to do that. So, yeah. Do you do any vascular imaging at all?
They do in Murray Hill. We don't do it at our sites, but they do in Murray Hill, so they will be using vascular imaging there.
Okay. So Viewpoint does support, like I said, does support vascular as well. Let me just go into a vascular study. So again, your measurements again would populate from your ultrasound machine into Viewpoint, and again, you can either utilize what's called the quick report to populate, a normal carotid, or you can go down and then choose some comments here to populate your report as well. So let me just do a normal. So again, your report would have your site logo and address, and then your measurements again you can utilize. You can either move those around if you wish, but they would show up kind of in the center of your report, and then all of your comments will be at the bottom along with your impression. If you want to add an image, for carotid, you can also, if you have like worksheets that you kind of do drawings with, you can also do a drawing within Viewpoint. So again, from a sonographer, if they wanted to, demonstrate a blockage or something like that, they could draw, using paint.
Definitely a step up from what we have now.
So once they save that, then they can attach that drawing to the report if they wish, just to show that, just to show the blockage or anything like that. And then on the report.
With that.
It can be saved as intact as an icon.
Yep. So now on the report, you got your image and you got the drawing as well. Oops. So, and then if it's too big, you can also minimize it. So you can make it a smaller image or something like that. You're not just limited to the images that are in Viewpoint. If you have particular drawings that you want us to have in here for specific exam types, we could also import them into. Any questions about anything at all?
Seems like a very robust system. It's very clean. The interface, it looks like the finished report is definitely more readable and professional than, at least as professional as what we have right now. I think, in terms of the memory capacity for the workstations, when you are toggling between Viewpoint and EchoPax, does it have a delay, or is it a fairly quick and easy thing to do? Like, when we use multiple computer programs here, sometimes there's, especially with NextGen, there's a significant delay whenever you have to open up a new box, or, when you have to go into EchoPax, is that a big workload for the computer, or is it not such a big deal?
So we definitely send out, because Viewpoint is a server, is a server-based solution. So we kind of send out specs to your IT as far as the recommendations for your server as well as your workstations. So we send out spec recommendations for Viewpoint, not only just Viewpoint but also EchoPax. So it's pretty. If your specs are the way that they should be, yeah, you should be able to launch Viewpoint and EchoPax with no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
How well does it work with, excuse me, we use VMware Horizon virtual desktops?
Okay. So that is, something that Viewpoint, you can either use Citrix if you want to review remotely, or remote desktop. Now, if you utilize remote desktop, you don't have access to the EchoPax viewer. You just have access to the Viewpoint viewer.
Okay. All right. So that's the difference.
We currently have an issue also with our EchoPax that if we have Rainbow Ultra Pro set, which we need to have to be able to read our Holters, it makes it impossible to run EchoPax in the virtual environment. So we can't. The quick point is that we can't use our dictation system, our Dragon, when we're in EchoPax, because we can't run EchoPax within Caremount Apps, which is where DMO is. So we have to wind up manually typing all our our comments into the echo packs, where it would be great if we could dictate into the microphone, but we can't do that because of the environment issues. Will Viewpoint resolve that?
Well, he was just saying that.
Is Dragon compatible? Again, I'm not sure if it's a limitation because of the virtual environment or not. It shouldn't be, but I probably ask that question. But we know that Dragon does work with Viewpoint, so.
Okay, so Dragon works with Viewpoint, but I just want to make sure I understand, Daryl. You said Echo Pack and Viewpoint do not work together within a virtual desktop.
Correct. So you'll have, if you go to virtual desktop, you'll have your images, just like you see here in Viewpoint. You'll have your report that you can access as well. You just won't be able to launch Echo Pack.
Okay, so it's better to then keep it local on the desktop as a fact client so that they can launch both at the same time instead of going back and forth.
Because we do a lot of our measurements ourselves. Basically the text generally, and I don't know who was commenting, but for at least the Westchester sites, the text do not generate a report for us. We're doing it all ourselves, and many times we'll trace the VTIs ourselves and make measurements ourselves. So I'm not sure that if we don't have access to Echo Packs, the system won't work that well for us.
Right, so, and that's part of the workflow, evaluation that I want to do as part of the kickoff. Whoever the point for us to speak to them and kind of make sure all the sites are doing the same thing, so that, in fact, do we really need to have access to Echo Pack if you have the image, if you have a Viewpoint.
It sounds like you do.
Good thing we do.
Yeah, right. So if you need both, then putting it in camera apps is not going to be,
Right.
it's not going to be applicable here. It's better to just put it on a local native desktop.
Okay. And maybe get a dictation program that can work in the local desktop.
Right, exactly. So what dictation systems do you use other than Dragon, just in case we have a conflict?
I know, as far as I know, that we've worked with Dragon. I can't. I think you would have to give us the name of the other dictation system, and then we can find out. But Dragon is the only one that I know of.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, so that's something we can figure out. Okay, thank you.
Sure. Yep.
Any other questions?
No, I think this is very informative, and you or one of your colleagues will be here to actually implement the upgrade, so I'm sure there'll be opportunities as we're doing things to notice if there's any issues that are coming up.
We're going to try to minimize.
Yeah. So the way we implement is that we kind of start with a project manager. Once everything starts going forward, and then basically we kind of set up, or we kind of ask you to designate a super user, either sonographer and physician, or just a sonographer. So we come on site, or remotely. We can work with the sonographer to just show them how to edit comments and stuff like that. Show them the workflow, and then we come back after maybe a month or 2 months, however long it takes to make your comments or edit your comments. And then we go live. So it'll either be one, or how many sites. Looks like you have multiple sites. It'll probably be, we'll have multiple clinical sales specialists to train all of your users.
Great.
What's the time frame for this?
The actual go live date is still in flux. We're just kind of, I want to have a kickoff meeting in January, and then it's just the focus is over Hill. So once that goes live, then we can then focus on this.
Okay.
I want it ASAP.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
the answer to that also comes from coordination between Viewpoint people, camera people, and then also next gen people. Make sure everybody's on board.
The goal is as fast as possible. All right, Joe. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate all your help.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Jeremy.
All right. Thank you.
All right.